Get these cops off.
Soul sensor is evil, and evil
because he
calls
knows.
to light.
He's like, oh, my brother's
He's
here.
the close. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
How did you miss it?
What?
Oh, yeah.
So
10 out of 10 landing.
So quiet. So silent.
Yeah, it looks cool.
She's like, is there something on my face?
This figure's also not very tall because Osha's a tiny
Because
little
Qimir, Manny Jacinto's not that tall.
It's not Qimir. It's not Qimir.
And it's lean.
That's
it's
your
not
dad.
a buff person.
Right.
Right. Pretty
I don't like the helmet.
slender.
I like it. It's like very anime.
I like the helmet.
Yeah.
Don't you like that?
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry you don't like it.
Stand down.
I mean, if he just kills Osha right here, that would be
That would be nuts. Yeah, he's gonna walk up to her like Kylo to Han Solo.
Yeah.
That would be a twist.
Ooh, yeah.
Best car teeth.
Definitely some
Yeah.
xenomorph vibes.
Oh!
She's safe.
Yeah, wait.
Kill you,
here we
coward.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go get 'em.
This is why we're
Look how many
watching.
yellow ones there are.
Yeah. Done.
Bye.
Yep. Oh!
Oh. No.
Oh!
More.
Welcome back to the after show here on the break room. Basil may have sniffed out May, but he definitely didn't sniff out the real big bad hiding in the forest.
Dun, dun, dun.
In the canopy, floating down like a little angel. Hit that graphic.
The after show. The after.
That's right. Today we're talking about episode 4 of The Acolyte, where May has a change of heart and the mysterious potential Sith figure reveals themselves. Don't roll your eyes at me, Maude. But has it been Qimir all along? No, you fools.
It has.
What's their goal here? We'll get into all that and more. I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today, oh, I love this highlighted. She always looks stunning in civilian robes. It's Maude Garrett.
I'm so glad you brought them up. Can I just...
Oh, what a flex.
They are not
Woo!
civvies. That is an
Dang,
authentic
Dang,
uniform.
I had a great time. Thanks for
Oh
asking.
my gosh.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. We'll have to save that for bonus
Amazing.
conversation. Do we have a bonus conversation?
We sure don't, but let's promise that.
Stay tuned, find out.
And also joining us today, he's got a great sense of smell, but nobody knows what he's saying. It's Tom Michelsen. That's a
For
good
about
Basil.
30 minutes. That's I can do
10 out
that.
of 10.
Thank you.
That's a good
Thank you.
Also, give Basil a radio. Jesus. He's got a
He
screen.
got goggles, yeah, but he doesn't have a radio or like a translator,
Yeah, yeah.
Nicholas, like the other
Here's
aliens.
my Basil impersonation.
Oh, that's pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that type. Yes.
Mine is, and you gotta have the hands like.
Oh, that's so
Also,
cool.
okay, this is a sentient being. Pip squirts it in the face,
Yeah.
unprovoked, and Osha's just like, sorry, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna move. See you later. Yeah.
This
And
is why they
that's
don't
why-
let droids in bars, okay, on
Yeah.
Tatooine.
That's
It's
why
this
AI is
behavior.
taking over.
Jeez Louise.
That moment.
We'll also get into Osha's return to the Force and the purpose of May's test. Test? Test. But before we do all that, Maude, kick us off with a little bit of a recap of what happened this episode. Get hydrated.
Alrighty. Well, it's a race to find Master Kelnaka on Kofar. We get a glimpse of a familiar-looking symbol from the Brendok Coven in Kelnaka's home before being thrust to Coruscant, where a group of Jedi nervously review footage of May's fight, with Venestra determining that she must have been trained by a Jedi, and that they need to bring her in and figure out, hey, you trained.
Including Kiadi Mundi, as we saw.
We saw him.
Saw
Yeah,
young
Mundi.
Kiadi Mundi hanging
Maybe
out there.
Plo Koon?
Maybe Plo Koon.
Maybe Plo Koon? I don't know.
or-
Certainly a Plo Koon race.
Alien.
I don't know.
It's-
I don't know what species they are.
It's
I
so
forget the
funny.
name.
This is 100 years prior plus,
Right.
and Kiara Mundi
Kiadi Mundi.
Mm-hmm.
still looks old as fuck.
Oh.
But he doesn't have grays. But yes.
Yeah, he's got brown.
It's like
not
that
grays.
wrinkly dome, well, conehead dome.
But what
Yes,
was your
yes.
what was your face when you saw him? Because I was like, is that?
No, mine, I was like, no, it's definitely not him. Because again, we're 100 years before.
Yeah.
It's like we're purposely not gonna have any. And then at the credits, I was like, Kiadi Mundi.
It was
They
him.
actually
They
have
live a long time.
I guess so.
I mean, Vanestra Rowe is already almost
right?
100
And
years from when
Wookiees,
she
as we
came
know,
out.
live a So I guess
Yeah.
every alien, if you're not humans, you get at
We're
least
full of
200
we're
years.
full of microplastics. We don't live that long.
Also,
They
like,
got midichlorians.
if you don't know about Kiari Mundi's fate, he got Order 66.
I mean,
Wait,
most
he was on the
time.
bridge. Yeah, he was actually maybe the first one who was like, "Come on!" And then he stops, and all their footsteps. He's like, "Huh?" And then he just gets.
Yeah.
Imagine living that long And that's how you
Yeah,
go.
just to get
Bunch
murked.
of clones.
Oh, order sucksy sucks. Right?
Got that right.
I issue order sucksies. No, I'm done. I couldn't even do it.
They also decide to withhold this information from the High Council, as they would inform the Senate, which would only spark fear and mistrust. Vanessa pulls Sol aside to lecture him about not addressing the possibility that May survived. Sol is resolute on bringing May in, but not without Osha, who he coerces into joining them to kind of use her as bait.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's a good tool to kind of disarm May, right? As they saw before on Olega, like, it confuses May. She gets, I don't know what to do now.
That's
Right,
it.
right. Like she actually was like Osha or
Right.
Oshi, and then she got to.
Well, we
pick
know
up that
May's in
shot.
like a totally different headspace now because
Right.
she knows Osha's alive. I think Sol could sense that, right?
Right.
That's why he was
That's
telling
ridiculous.
in his little debrief that like he was reading like her thoughts. Again, I think Sol is bad.
He's the acolyte.
Yeah.
But also, like, not bad at all. So, like, that's wild. The Jedi, it's this very murky area here.
Maude, in my opinion, it's the Jedi who are bad.
Then you truly are lost. I was quickly about their little debrief too. Now knowing that that's Ki-Adi-Mundi, by the way,
Yeah.
it's so dumb when he was like, so there's a force wielder and then they have a master and there's two of them, and then in Phantom Menace then say, the Sith have been extinct for a millennia.
Well, we don't know that this
Well,
is
I'm just
Sith
saying,
guy.
what other group of force wielders have two of them only, a master and an apprentice, and Ki-Adi-Mundi's the one who's there at the meeting? I'm like, what was the point of? Anyway. That's all I
Are you
gotta say about that.
suggesting that this is the first time they've retconned something in Star Wars?
Wait, Star Wars don't retcon anything. What are you
Hold
talking
on,
about?
but they want to nix that part, but they want to keep the midichlorian immaculate conception. All right, cool. Anyway, the duo set off for Kofar with Yord, Jackie, a bunch of nameless Jedi Knights.
Red shirt,
Cannon
baby.
fodder, yeah.
Red
What?
shirt.
I wonder if
Saber
had a line
fodder.
of dialogue.
Yeah, when I saw him, he was like, "Come out of that domicile." I was like, "He's dead."
Yeah.
He's
By
immediately.
order of the High Republic,
Yes, exactly.
come out of your domicile.
Yeah, he's done. Exactly.
And then
dead.
they brought a new species.
Oh yeah.
We got Basil.
Basil.
Go Baz, aka a tracker, who's like what, part mole, part Eva?
In the close credits, it said he was speaking some language, and it started with a T. And I'm not sure if that's the species that this
That's
character
what I
is.
was
Must
thinking
be.
it was.
But Qimir and May are also on Kofar. They discuss May's tests, which we'll get to a little bit more later. The two teams wander through the forest, with Qimir having been to Kalneka's location before, suspicious, and the Jedi are using Basil's trusty nose to get him there. As they trek through the woods, despite feeling cautious about the whole thing, Osha seemingly starts to reattune to the Force, sensing a camouflaged creature, which, can I just say, who said that bug was bad? Like,
No, and she felt bad about
It
it.
had like sharp teeth.
no, but what if it's like that Rick and Morty episode where we just don't understand him, and that bug was like, "Hello, I'm the grandma of this," and just gets sliced? We don't know. So I was
Well,
like,
if you're a grandma, move
Jedi.
a little slower. Don't run at me, grandma.
That's bug grandma speed, so they go even faster.
Oh,
than
okay.
that,
I see what you're saying.
But you're right. They are lightsabering first and not even asking questions.
Osha felt
later.
bad about it. Osha felt bad. Again.
No, she wasn't. She
Sol
was
did
like,
it.
No, she was more like, I felt the Force.
Yeah.
No, she felt bad because like she
No.
disturbed it, and now it's said because of it. Sol, the bad guy, was quick to kill it. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
He drew his
He was like,
weapon, he
stand
was ready
back,
to kill."
batter up, baby.
And also, did you catch that Anakin-esque line Osha says to Jackie?
Yeah, this jumped out at me because she was like, she said, I could never accept death as a true Jedi should. I couldn't accept what I lost. How unfair it felt.
we all gotta die, sweets.
My baby, that's Anakin talk right there, dog. He could not deal with death. He wanted to beat it. The Sith always want to beat death. Osha's bad, Sol's bad.
the path
We're all
to the
bad.
dark
This is the path.
side.
And Jackie's just like trying to get some, but like this is not the
Trying to
girl,
get some from
Jackie.
Yord? Or no, trying to get some from...
No, Jackie and Osha are gonna smash.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna
Okay,
smash.
okay, cool. I can see it. I didn't think about that, but I could see it.
Yeah. They're clearly in love with each other, but
Look, just because she's got that haircut.
no, it's not that. They look longing to. Listen, Osha was like, listen, babe, I'm not leaving without saying goodbye to you, my girl. So,
I just say, when I
he can
get
kick
back,
rocks,
when I
but
get
I'm
back,
gonna
let's
say
go to a
goodbye to
cantina,
you.
hang out,
Yeah.
catch up on
Yeah,
stories.
she's-
That's
Next time on
right.
Coruscant, I'll look you up.
Yeah.
What do you mean look her up?
Yeah.
At the Jedi Temple.
No, look up at the temple, be like, Jackie! I'll
This is
literally look up
already
to you.
more interesting than the show.
No, the show's gonna get there, Maude. They're gonna get
We're
there.
gonna get there. We're gonna go.
This is actually one of the shorter episodes of the season
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
pretty
It was
short.
like 32 minutes, and like 4 minutes of that was credits,
Mm-hmm.
and only 51 seconds of this show was great.
Let me guess, the 51 towards the end?
Right at the end.
Exactly.
No, it's
yeah.
Right at
Basildon
the end.
squirted by Pip.
We needed to see those
Context
moments.
when you
We
say
needed-
like that. Anyway, let's continue on our journey of what the episode was.
Well, that's when the Jedi hear a scream, and we all know, obviously, it's Qimir screaming like that, right?
Well, the closed caption did say May screams.
Yes, right.
So he came running because he heard May scream. I guess she set up the trap and was like,
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. Come and get me, come and get me. Yeah. Right, exactly. Help, anybody, help. That's when Qimir comes around the corner and actually falls for the trap. Which, on the one hand, if you're maybe a secret Sith
Thank
Lord,
you.
would you fall for a
Thank
trap, or is this
you.
part of the whole? Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah. She tells him her loyalty is to Osha, and that everything has changed now. Now she's gonna turn herself into the Jedi, reveal her master to them, and she runs off to find Cal Neka.
Okay, so here's the part about
Give it
that.
to me.
This
Yes.
part of
Give
the
it to
show.
me.
Let's hear
In
it.
that one line of dialogue, they have essentially disrupted the entire integrity
How?
of the show.
How?
Because for the first 2 episodes, May is trying to be a Sith. It is
Right.
Well, she's trying to be something.
And then it's
A dark side wielder.
established
There you go.
that the apprentice and master dynamic is ruled by fear. So May is scared shitless of letting down the master. And then she even kind of addresses that.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
she
you
says
know,
it 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
She's all like, he's gonna kill me if I don't do
Yes.
this. It's impossible.
She
Yeah.
entered into a bad contract.
And then
She
she's
wants
like,
out.
wait, but then again, let me build this trap to catch Qimir and
Because
run
she
away.
has a way out now
But
through
then
Osha.
tells him, who also works for said master, hey, I totally don't care about him anymore. I'm actually going to prioritize my sister, and I'm going to get out. I'm
So
out.
Maude's point is a lot smarter than mine. I was just annoyed that last thing she said to Osha was, "I'll kill you."
Right, she was angry.
And they were always having an antagonistic relationship. And now, fast forward umpteen years later, it's like, Oshi, you're here. I love you. It's like, wait, what? You guys were always.
Well, here's the deal. Okay,
I feel like
she's
in
a-
the end of the second episode, we kind of got a little bit of that, which was, I didn't know you were alive. I thought
Sure.
you'd been dead this entire
Right.
time.
Sure,
now
sure.
that you're back, that she didn't shoot her.
Right.
Sure.
There was like that
She
moment
pulled the
where it's
trigger
like,
but missed. But she pulled the
purposely
trigger. Yeah.
missed. So it's like, I think they need to have a conversation.
They do need to have a conversation, but it's just funny because supposedly May started the fire. May can't stand Oshi, and so it's like now that Oshi's alive. And that part just kind of was like, wait, what? That took me out of it. A little
I
bit.
just think that May sharing with Qimir that she's going to basically betray her master, even though they're on Kalnaka. I mean, sorry, they're on this planet to
Kofar.
kill
Kofar, yeah,
Kalnaka,
yeah.
to kill this guy.
Right.
And she's like, got to do it without a weapon. Can't disappoint him. He'll kill me if I don't. By the way, I actually think I'm going to bail on
Now
this
I'm
whole
just gonna
thing.
turn myself into the Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
But
also
she
going
thinks her and Qimir are kind of like friends. She thinks she can trust this dude.
Sure.
Whether or not she can, we'll see.
They both report to the same person who uses fear. That does it, sorry, but that single line, I
No,
was
yeah, I
like,
agree.
you
I
are
agree.
so confused in
But
your
she's-
storytelling. We needed this episode to see that fear, to have May's objective crystal clear, and then when the master approaches, she's like, oh my God, I've just seen him take out everyone effortlessly.
Right.
And then she either has to double down in that moment, or he threatens Osha, and she then goes, you know what, that's the step.
Because
too
let's
far."
say at the end, the beginning of the next ep, he wipes the floor with the Jedi. They leave, and then May's there. And it's like, "Hi, Master. So thanks for doing it for me. But what's she gonna say? Like,
But I just think if the master threatens Osha at all, like, that's May being like, that wasn't on the table, like. And
Right.
then, but there needs to be a level of subterfuge. You need to shut your mouth and
Well,
not tell everyone what
show-
to
No one
do.
said
Show,
she-
don't tell.
No one said she's a criminal mastermind, right? Like, because she's making the mistake of sharing her feelings with
She's
Qimir.
exactly a criminal master. She
Wait,
set
May?
fire, she ruined.
No, I'm saying
she
she's
killed
not that.
Trinity. I mean,
I'm saying she's not that, right? Like, she's stuck in this scenario where she feels obligated to do the things the master wants her to do. She has not fulfilled those things yet. Qimir keeps bringing that up.
Sure.
And she's starting to panic, and she's freaking out. Now she realizes her sister's still alive. She seems like a girl who, she wanted to be in the coven so bad. She ascended. She's in the coven. She got stamped. She's here, dude. She's
the
pulling
threads.
threads. That all falls apart. We don't know what she's been doing for 16 years. Sometime recently, she fell in with this dude. She's on this path, but she's realizing it's not the right path. She now knows her sister
When
is up.
did she realize that?
When her sister's still alive.
She saw her in that
sees her
theater.
sister. She knows the two of them together have a weird connection. They have strong power.
power
They can
of
do
many.
things. And maybe with realizing her sister is still alive, there's a chance now to explore the Coven's power and what it is.
Then I
and she
needed-
doesn't need the master anymore.
Interesting.
Then
Sorry,
I-
Maude. I'm angry. I kicked over your water bottle.
Just leave my water bottle out of it. It's my emotional support water bottle. Then I needed one beat. I needed one moment for that to make sense.
Sure.
I was gonna
And
say that's great. I love that idea, and it would have been nice if the show made that clear, right? Or said that.
So the one
Yeah.
beat that I needed was as soon as Osha landed on the same planet as May, their bloody
Have a feel.
midichlorians, yeah, they literally connect with one another. Because we saw it in the second episode where when she landed, the little force ghost or whatever it was kind of
Yeah.
like transported her around.
Oh,
If
when
you're
they're on
talking-
Kofar together, they needed a scene that was like,
They just needed
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah, yeah.
I sense her presence,
That would be
or
good.
it's like unlocking
Kind of like
something.
Kylo and Ren having, Kylo and Rey having
Yes.
those conversations
Right.
through the Force.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why is she reconnected with the Force? Because of May's presence there.
Yeah.
And it really kind of doubles down on the notion, the power of one, whatever, the power of two, and the fact that when they're together, they are a Force.
Right.
so you
Huh.
love it, is
Gaia?
what you're saying.
So that's what I need. I just needed it to be like I
Yeah.
killed my sister. And then that would have made sense for May to change her mind within 5 minutes
Yep.
and want to betray her master. And then it would have made sense for Osha to tap into the Force again. And we didn't get that crucial beat.
Ma, tell us how you really feel though. Like what?
I used my hands on the table at the same time.
She had the whole trip on the ship over at Kofar. She's been thinking about it.
She's been thinking about
No.
in her
You know what I
civvies.
mean?
In her civvies.
It was only a 30-minute episode. You couldn't
Listen,
give me 5 minutes of this.
She also had to go on a very long hike.
I was gonna say we know the hike took 3 hours.
And as
she's like, we got
someone,
3 hours of sunlight
yeah,
left.
and as someone who's
We just saw only 30 minutes.
so as someone who's taken their wife on a hike longer than promised, angry things get said at the end of it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And so that can really jog people's mind. I also agree with you, Maude, that I think the order of operations in the show is a little tricky, and it's tough to judge it because we have not been given the full picture yet. And this
We're
does
literally
feel like a
halfway.
lot of
I think
Disney.
it's pretty easy to judge it.
Well, I don't think it's
literally
fair.
what we're doing today.
I don't think it's fair to judge.
right.
I'm not
I
going to judge
still
the whole
will.
product.
I still will.
Well, and I think it is fair to judge it episode by episode, and this is true for most things that have appeared on Disney Plus, where it's like I don't think they've quite cracked the code of episodic television, and they're still just telling movies in chopped up segments, and it's not working. And I think
Right.
that's difficult.
For the love of God, give us a good cliffhanger.
Right. Breaking Bad, one of the most lauded shows of all time. Every episode you can just kind of dive into and get something out of it.
Right.
Even if you've never seen the show, there is a story arc.
There's an arc in each episode. Yeah.
They're not pulling it off
Here,
here,
it's
and
not,
I think
yeah.
that's to the show's detriment. And I don't know what the solution is for that, other than they've got to find a better way to kind of do this episodic storytelling.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe when they finally, get out of like, okay, there's no more mysteries.
Right.
Here's the answers. Maybe we can get there.
Yeah.
But so far we have not gotten.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. It's a little
It's a little
tricky.
tricky. Yeah.
I still
Well-
don't think Saul's an asshole though.
Well,
You're
I
on
don't
your
think he's
own
an
now.
asshole.
He's
I
an
think
asshole.
he's evil.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not.
Well, as this episode continued and Maude was loving it, the Jedi arrive on Kofar and they don't find anything because they land in the area where things are chill and they're all like, go to the evil woods. You'll find some there, dude. Saul has a moment of uneasiness because he's a bad guy. And he
No.
tells Osha that they'll both face their path. Interesting. Yeah, Saul's really hiding a lot of stuff, and I'm very interested
For
to find
sure.
out
Are
what
we
that
gonna
is.
have like an Ahsoka Anakin showdown like we got in the Ahsoka show? Because that was the best part of that.
like an Osha Saul showdown?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Maybe.
that'd be cool.
We
Maybe.
just said it, the same path.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like physically seeing that path in a mystical bridge
There
where
you
you
go.
have a lightsaber duel.
May makes it to Kalnaka first, but what's this? He's been killed?
Dun dun dun.
My furry boy with the shaved head's been killed? Was his head shaved? I think he's still been shaving it. I think he still has it.
Yeah, but after he got slashed, he's like, and he shaved. I gotta look good for the. But when I saw that, can I just say, I was like, are you kidding me? We are not gonna see a Wookiee swing a lightsaber. Like, are you freaking kidding
I
me?
know. That's
Unless-
this
I'm
was
not
like
against-
I think
I was
we're-
like, maybe flashback.
We're going to revisit Brandon.
But I'm like, come on. He literally got nothing to do.
Also,
Is there a trailer shot with him in the lightsaber?
I don't
Or am I
like
making that up? Am I
no,
dreaming
he
that?
force pulled some guns.
I think we saw him
we
with
did
an
see,
excited lightsaber at
I
one
think
point.
so, or maybe it was a still.
I think we
Maybe it
did
was a
see.
still.
I swear when we did the breakdown, we were like,
Yeah.
he's got a lightsaber, that's the best.
Yeah, that was in the
Ooh.
trailer.
Also, if May is going on and on about how this particular part of her mission is the most crucial, why has he got to cut her grass quite literally? Like, why is the Master coming in and taking care of the mission that he needed her to complete?
She told the Master
wasn't gonna do
Qimir, and he's like, well, if she's not doing it, I'm going to do it myself, like Thanos.
Well, whatever
myself.
the deal is, Kalnaka's dead. And May realizes, oh shit, Master's here. I gotta go. The sun sets, ominous music swells. The Jedi approach Kalnaka's house and tell May to step out with her hands up on order of the High Republic.
Get out of that domicile. I was like, wow, he's dead.
He had one line. He had to bring
I was like,
it.
good for him, dude.
Yeah.
Good for him.
You can always tell when someone's got that one line.
Yeah,
And it's like,
that would have been
ooh.
me. By order of the High Republic. It's like, your line was come out of the house.
Yeah.
And I would have.
Well, is it fair? Because I feel that my character.
Exactly.
would
Are you
actually-
sure? Yeah.
Do I have a name? No.
You're literally Jedi number 3.
And then floating down from the trees like an evil Peter Pan is this dark entity who walks right up to Osha, clicks on that red lightsaber,
Ooh, love that.
Kylo Ren style, only not killing Han this time,
Right.
raises it up beside her and pushes her to the side in the cutest little flip I've ever seen.
Hold on, does that mean that levitating is officially a Sith power?
We don't know. He could have used the rope that
Could have
he
been
was
a
tied
like
up in, right? 'Cause
force
it's kind
push, slow descend. Who knows?
We're watching the same show. That was a beautiful levitation.
It was a beautiful
It
levitation.
was a
down.
dissension of the
Underneath the
levitation.
ropes, his hands like Iron Man. He was
mean, we
like,
know-
holding himself down.
We know there's a Jedi power that you can like kind of cushion your fall.
Right.
That's kind of what he's doing, just very expertly.
Right. Yeah.
All the Jedi turn on their lightsabers. We're like, oh baby, it's fight time. We get a little sand dust shockwave, and they cut to credits.
Son of a bitch.
Even Evan said, "What the f- out loud?"
It should have ended with
I could
him
hear it.
turning it on in front of Oshi and boom, like.
No, I think this show would have been better served for like 5 minutes of fighting.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then something
that
happened, and we
actually
cut
would
to
be the
credits.
best. I'm assuming
This
you
was
didn't
too
want
much
to
of a
fight.
tease.
But yeah, that was too much of it. With the
Especially when
shockwave,
there was such a nothing part of this episode.
and that was in the trailers where it's like we already knew that was going to happen.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't like.
Yeah,
It's like, we got to the moment from the trailer.
And again, I agree that this is the problem with this episodic storytelling they're doing on shows like this, where like the cliffhangers are always very strange, and the episodes end in weird places.
They do.
They
Yeah.
haven't quite found that rhythm yet.
Yeah.
Before we get into any of our other questions about this episode, do you have any favorite moments? Maude, we know you don't. Tom, do you have any favorite moments from this episode?
Yeah, I think like Maude, the last minute was great.
You like that?
I was like, well, but I will say, even though I agree with a lot of you guys' criticisms, and I have my own for sure, I was like, this episode to me felt like great. Things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Let's get some going, and execution is a whole nother thing. But yeah, I think my favorite part is maybe seeing the guy. What are we calling him? The villain? The
I
master?
don't like calling him master.
He's not the acolyte. 'Cause
dark
the acolyte would be
entity.
who he's training, right?
Yeah.
May
So-
would be the acolyte in theory.
I've just been
also-
calling him the acolyte, even though I know he's
Why,
it's
why Acolyte when it's Apprentice? Why isn't this show
because
called
they're not
Apprentice?
Sith.
because an acolyte kills the dream,
I think the
or whatever
show-
he said in the first act.
I think this show is also exploring the idea that it's not just Jedi and Sith. Those are the main entities in this world because they're crushing all of their ways to tap into the Force, if you will.
Was his helmet made of the same material as the Mandalorians?
Beskar?
Beskar? No,
I don't think so.
It's made whatever
Were
Kylo's
they-
helmet's made out of.
Were they human teeth that were on the?
I do.
Or was that a
I don't
missed
know about the little
opportunity?
teeth,
I
or if it's just like
can't
metal shaped
stand-
like
Yeah,
teeth.
part of me was thinking, is this
can't-
one of
The
those
big
where
smile?
they wanted to look anime like a smile, but there's an in-universe reason that's not a smile or something,
Yeah.
something like that?
I think they're going for full effect smile, like creep
But
factor.
dude is OP.
Yeah.
He is
Oh, yeah.
OP. And I want to see that in action.
One,
'Cause
he
what is
won
it, like
push,
9
and he took out
versus-
9 dudes.
Whew,
was
love
good.
that. I want to see this. And like, honestly, not gonna lie, this is internet forever. If I were a Jedi standing in a beautiful line like that and I saw that kind of power, yeah, you're right. It's not about good or bad at all. It's about how much power you can get. And
Well,
that
that's
would
what
be very tempting.
The Sith are all about that there's freedom through power, right? And that's the only way that you can be truly free. Is
I
by
would rather die than
taking
hold
so
a
much
red
power.
light. Oh, there are pictures of me with a red light. I'm
sure there are.
Bad.
If I was a domicile guy and I lit up, I would have been like, I got this so easy. Like, so confident right now.
You light it up, it's like, "Mrrr."
Yeah, be like, pew. Yeah, then that's where the real lightsaber whip comes out, just whap,
yeah.
just flops right
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the look of like the forest in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, I think they built like a lot of practical forest set.
It looks like a soundstage.
Honest. Well, yes, it does look like a soundstage.
But I don't notice the volume.
It looks better than the volume.
Yes, and I do love that about this show.
And there were multiple angles, and like I loved the kind of like orange glow in it. You know, this episode had very Predator, first Predator movie vibes of like this group of commandos coming in, and they don't know what they're up against, right?
Magic Kanaka and all mud going, calling out.
I mean, pretty much like, get to the chopper!
Yeah.
Get back to the ship! You know, we'll get one of those lines.
Yeah,
or
we will.
something.
Soul will be yelling.
But I did like the
for
look
sure.
of it. Yeah, I love the like descending in the background
That
in
was
silence.
nice.
Like very
exactly.
cool.
Out of focus. That was bad.
And yeah, I'm into the mystery of the show. I'm into the figuring out what all the details are. I don't like the way they've chopped it up. And
Right.
It's frustrating.
Would it have been better if you heard Kalnaka's last roar and he died?
Like as she's outside the.
Maybe that was him yelling. It wasn't May. Maybe that was him earlier going, and we didn't know. We just assumed it was
But
May
like-
calling.
We never heard a
calling
Wookiee
Qimir.
really scream.
Exactly.
But like, what would have really been cool if it's like, and it's like, oh, we're on the right track, we're close.
Right, right.
And
Oh,
then
yeah,
in
yeah,
hindsight,
yeah.
that was him.
And May
fighting back
comes
and
in
dying.
like a fighting stance, thinking like he's ready to fight or something.
Or she's like, I give up, and he's like,
The only thing that we got from that was that it was still smoking.
Yeah. It was
like-
fresh. You could still see the
yeah,
glowing.
it's still like the
And
ember
it was like
burning.
little
embers.
tweaks.
Must have stank so bad.
Yeah, burnt hair. Oof.
And a lot of it.
Stinky.
Yeah.
That's why he only cut a little bit. He's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
too much. That's too much.
He's like,
Oh, I barfed in my mask. Oh, God.
That's it's like, why do you sound like you're underwater now? It's like, my mouth's just full of
My
mouth.
mask is full of barf.
Hey, who is it? You
Yeah?
think it's Qimir?
Oh, for sure.
Not
No.
kind of. Before we get into who we think this evil entity is, we wanted to thank one of our sponsors today, which is a podcast we're super excited about from the writers of Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto series.
Ooh.
You've heard of those. This podcast is an immersive audio fiction podcast called A Better Paradise, Volume 1, An Aftermath. This sci-fi thriller audio drama is the very first story in an expansive new universe from Absurd Ventures. Set in the near future, A Better Paradise tells the story of the ill-fated development of an ambitious but addictive digital game world project led by inventor and psychologist Dr. Mark Tyburn. As the advanced software they developed began delivering unexpected and disturbing results, the team fell apart under strange circumstances and the project was abandoned. The game world and the superintelligence within were left discarded, left dormant, and undiscovered until now. Zach Cuddleston, you've heard of this guy. He's already listened to the first episode and called it, quote, a paranoid neo-noir set in the near future where a psycho AI is hunting down the people who created it. It's a little Alex Garland, a little Blade Runner, a little Mr. Robot, and a lot of fun, end quote. Who does Zach think he is, huh? Does he think he's some like
critic.
hoity-toity dude?
They're gonna
That was
publish it
cool.
like on the
I-
back of the book. Like, yeah, that was an awesome.
Has he got a letterboxd account? Because I'd read it.
Who gave Zach a thesaurus, huh? This is not cool.
Wow.
I talk to that guy all the time. He's a dum-dum. Who wrote this for him?
A dum-dum couldn't write that. That was great, Zach. Good job.
You had
Good
me
job,
at
Zach.
Alex Garland. You know he's not going to direct again? Anyway, continue.
He will. That's BS. A Better Paradise is created and written by Dan Houser, lead writer of the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption series, and is directed by his longtime creative partner, Laszlo. A Better Paradise is out now and available everywhere you get your podcasts. Go listen today, and don't forget to follow A Better Paradise on your platform of your choice to make sure you never miss an episode. Okay, let's get into one of our main questions from episode 4. In this episode, we finally get to see May's master confront the Jedi in the show and not just be hanging out on the shore looking cool and brooding. Do we think May's master is a former Jedi?
Yes.
Of like a splinter order Vanestra seems convinced of?
100%. This
Former
is the
Jedi?
student that they had. Yeah, and also like Osha was in the academy and she left. She didn't complete her
Right, it
training,
seems like
so
people wash that all the time.
I would start looking at the archives.
But do you
Who
let
kind
them-
of skiddly dude?
Are you allowed to take your lightsaber if you leave?
You can just build another one, no?
You gotta go get a kyber crystal.
I feel
Okay.
like, you know what? Those are being left all over the place. Like Ray buried some in the desert. Like people drop
Yeah.
them all the time.
I'm
off
not-
of, like scaffolding.
I'm not a
You can find
Clone
them.
Wars series expert, but I know there's like an episode where Yoda takes a bunch of younglings to get a kyber. Is that the
Ilum,
only place to
planet
find kyber crystals?
This is in a cave. You just a cave.
Yeah, so
you
I
have a
think
crystal.
that planet, that was the planet where that has kyber crystals, and you go in and you can do a trial to find
Sure.
your one. But yeah, I think that is the only one because that's the one the Empire ends up mining to make a crystal big enough to make
Right.
the Death Star.
Right.
But I think that's the only place where you
that they
that
know
we know
of.
of.
That they
Also,
know.
Crystal Cave.
The Crystal Cave.
Crystal
Oh, what a
Cave.
great name for it.
Also, I don't want this to blow
Fucking
your
Jedi,
mind, but like Han Solo was a smuggler.
Right.
And so we know smuggling
Wait.
is happening.
No, there's
So, like,
laws,
A
Maude.
bit of a black market purchase wouldn't be.
Oh, that's right, like a lightsaber. Yeah,
Yeah.
You go to any
Right.
market and be like, oh, there's a lightsaber.
Well,
I'll buy that
6
one right
million credits will get you any color you want.
Right.
Like, come on.
What's his name from Andor? He wears like a Kyber crystal around his neck.
there. Oh, that's
Stellan
right. Chirrut
Skarsgård.
Imwe? No.
I forget his name.
Wait, Stellan
Oh, yeah, the
Skarsgård?
collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
Not
We don't- you don't
confuse
need
with
to look
Marvel's
that.
collector.
Oh, from the show Andor.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
movie.
so does Osha have her lightsaber still? Do we think?
No, because she.
Did she ever get that
I think
far
when
enough?
you officially retire, maybe she
You
probably
gotta
had a training
hand in
one.
the
She
saber.
definitely had a training one, but I don't know if she was
Right.
ever had a
Well,
point to have her
Saul
own.
gave his to her when she was young.
But he was just like, you can just
Yeah,
look at
just
it.
a hole.
Don't press,
You
the,
didn't-
don't press
yeah.
that button. Boom.
You never had like the cops come to your school and they, well, you come from a better country than us, Maude.
I was gonna say, what the cops
You never had
come
the
to
cops
school?
come to your school and be like, hey, you want to hold a gun?
Whoa.
I grew up in the South. It's
I didn't grow up in
Not
America
great.
either. I never had that happen.
yeah, America's weird with guns. I don't know.
No, never had that. That would be
Okay.
crazy. I was gonna say, I know you think that it's a former Jedi, but what if it's somebody just like there's ancient Jedi texts? We know Sith holocrons exist. What if somebody who's Force sensitive found a Sith temple
Right.
or where? Because like Yoda's communed with like Darth Bane before in the Clone Wars. What if somebody just stumbled upon some Sith
Or
some
this
secrets
person-
only the Sith knew?
We had that at the beginning of this Ahsoka series. She went down and she tapped into some of that stuff. We've seen it in Jedi Order, the video game. We've seen it in Clone Wars or is it Rebels with oh come on,
think
Darth
Rebels.
Maul. Darth
oh,
Maul
Rebels,
was like
yeah.
caught in
He
there.
was in the bottom of the- yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. Like so, that is a possibility. I don't
Yeah.
mind.
There's also the possibility this person killed a Jedi and took their lightsaber.
No, because look at the power. That's it. Like I totally get it. They studied May's training, and it's like she's been trained by someone. The shit that this levitator can do,
Right.
Like I reckon that's a form of training, but they've just kind of continued.
How long do you think May's been with this master figure?
Well, there was 16 years.
Right, but
and
it hasn't
she-
been 16
So it
years.
seems
that
like
she's-
2 weeks, maybe.
I think it's pretty fresh.
But the fact for her to be able to be like, oh, she's alive, that changes everything, and yeah, through
Was
fear,
she
like
8 years of age when like the whole coven got obliterated?
Right, but it's been
already?
16 years since that event.
Yeah.
I don't think she went straight from there to.
because I don't think it
this
takes
dude.
16 years to maybe even
Right.
become a Sith or whatever they're calling this. But
Yeah.
I think it's maybe been a year. I would imagine like she met them and that guy had to. Because she seems like, especially now, it looks like May's not completely evil, but has evil tendencies, and this guy's trying to exploit that. So maybe it's taken a while to get convinced to work for him and to do stuff, and then to get to a point where she's actually murdering
Well, and
people.
she's under the impression that the Jedi murdered her whole family.
Right,
Also,
right.
Also, I'm sorry, but like last episode, this was like Emily the Omen or whatever that horror movie is, where she was just like, out for
Yeah.
blood, and now she's like, I instantly feel different.
It's
Yeah.
been 16 years,
like,
Mom.
oh,
People change.
No,
But
no.
she
She's
did
like,
it
I'll
from
kill
episode
you.
1 and
I'll
2.
kill you, Oshi. And then it's like,
Okay, you were never a kid who said something more aggressive than you
Yeah,
intended.
and I'm still
and
pretty
felt-
evil,
and
dude.
felt
I
bad
have
about
not
it.
changed.
And cops didn't
You
bring
never
guns to our
packed
school.
your bag and ran away from home or something like that. And then we're like, that was stupid. What was I thinking? I was a child. I didn't mean what I said.
It actually breaks the consistency of the first 2 episodes that we've seen, where she goes into that temple not once but twice to kill a meditating dude.
I was gonna say,
Who
She's done the same thing
who
where
she
she's
thinks
throwing daggers
Killed
at
her
someone.
family.
Yeah, but it's also to pass a test so that she can be consumed by more power. She's literally anger
Sure.
that's leading to hate, which is leading to suffering.
Right, but there's a- I
but
think
my
she-
sister's the cure.
But I think she realizes there's a path to more power through her sister than there is with
We
this
didn't
dude.
see that. We needed to see that
We're-
in this episode.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes. We'll get 3 more episodes that'll explain it.
yes, Evan.
Well, I think this is also a good point to segue to. I mean, we can come back and talk about the identity, right, and if it's Qimir or not. But let's talk about May's test in this specific
Okay, yeah.
regards, right?
Yes.
Because May, like when you think, in the time that she's spent talking to Qimir this episode, there's been a lot of interesting language around the test and what she's actually supposed to be doing. And then, like you said earlier, the master jumped in and killed Kalnaka. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, this episode, this whole you have to kill a Jedi without a weapon. The way it was talked about this episode totally reframed it in my mind.
Oh, go on.
Because the way I understood it was that she, May, had to kill a Jedi without a weapon,
Yeah.
without a lightsaber, without using knives,
Yes.
without using poison, any of that. But the way she's saying here now that like a Jedi would never kill an unarmed person, So I take it to be, you have to kill a Jedi. The Jedi doesn't have a weapon, is what she's saying here. That's why she's always been reaching for the lightsabers to try and get them away from the Jedi. Because it's not that like she has to kill without a weapon. The thing she's killing is not allowed to have a weapon.
Wait, I misunderstood.
So because that's like the antithesis of a Jedi, whatever this dark entity wants to be.
Killing
If
an
it is
unarmed
Sith.
person, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to show how Sith you are by being the total opposite of a Jedi. So this kind of reframed the whole test in my mind. And is that part of the test in general, how you interpret what the order is?
No, I misunderstood. I thought that she was supposed to have been doing this the whole time, and that she's failed multiple times, as opposed to it's only a Kelnek. Okay. So she was supposed to have killed everybody with a weapon.
Yeah, but
she's
keeps
failed.
going to a dagger.
She keeps having poison, whatever. Okay.
But I think that's fine that she was using a dagger and poison. I think the problem is she's not getting the weapons away from the Jedi.
No.
Right, or she's not doing the test correctly.
And I think she's always had fear around that, and that's why she's been provoking them each time, being like, come fight me. Because she's afraid to just kill someone unarmed. She's afraid to kill someone who's not expecting it and unarmed. She's trying to goad these Jedi into fights.
What if her physical prowess is where she excels the most with her knives and all that kind of stuff? What if she's not as tapped in or attuned to whatever understanding of the Force or threads that she has, and so that's the weapon. So you stop using a physical weapon to kill.
Right.
Start using your powers to do it.
Or make a trap, like Qimir.
Make a trap.
Yeah.
Oh, like the master wants her to use her powers, because that'll draw her closer into
Like a force choke, like
Yeah.
Anakin did to Padme or something.
The weapon or a lightsaber, that's an easy kill. But a real way to do it is to immobilize or to force push or to use the actual powers. And maybe she's just not as tapped into that, which is why she keeps doing physical fights.
Right.
I don't know.
I was gonna say this is definitely like they're definitely suggesting this is like a Sith situation because excuse me, in the comics there was a whole point where Vader, after becoming Vader, had to go kill a Jedi without a weapon, and that's how he got his red lightsaber, because he had to bleed that saber. And there's a whole arc of Palpatine sending him on a mission to go do that too. So I was like, oh, this is just the
Lords of the Sith?
Is it? I don't
that's
remember.
a book. That's a
Oh
book.
yeah, no, this is a comic. It was specifically
Is
a
this
comic.
the Darth Vader comic?
I think it was a Vader comic, yeah, where he's now Vader.
With
He doesn't
Triple O?
have a saber. Huh?
Is it the 000 one? Where it's like the red R2D2, aka triple
Oh,
zero?
is it? I don't remember. I
that
don't remember.
C-3PO?
I'm only remembering the panels of like
that was the
Palpatine
C-3PO.
sending him
Red
on
C3.
a.
Yeah.
Red C3 was
And
000.
then
Do you
it's
know how I
also-
know that? Because 000 is Australia's 911.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if
no
you need
wonder I
emergency-
couldn't get help in Australia. Call it 911.
You need to call
And it was
Zero, yeah.
it was just a restaurant. They were like, "What do you want, mate?" And I was like, "I need help." And they're
like Anna Foster's, but hell.
"They don't drink Foster's over there, Tom."
Sure don't.
You fool.
That's like coming to America being like, one Budweiser, please.
Yeah, I did that.
You did?
Yeah, it's what American
That's
drink.
well, when I go to Australia, I'm definitely having a Foster's.
I don't know if you can get one.
If you go outside the U.S., they love Budweiser. They're like, "This is great."
Oh, no,
Budweiser,
no.
you know. Let's stop the show for a second. A Budweiser is actually not a bad beer. Like Budweiser, straight Budweiser is not bad.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good pilsner.
Pacifico for me.
Well, yeah, there's much better beer.
Also,
I-
bottle is way better than can.
Oh, for sure.
I disagree with that.
Any-
I disagree with
that's
that.
any beer,
Yeah,
though,
Well,
can then
no,
draft.
I complete-
Draft can.
Oh, draft is for sure.
Draft
Draft
is
bottle
better.
can.
Can, yeah.
Draft bottle can.
And then
No, well,
pans
here's the problem with
or
the
bucket
bottle.
would be yeah, I would yeah.
Here's the problem with the bottle. It's not as great of a seal as a can. It
Sorry.
keeps the pressure better.
No.
Also, no matter the bottle color, you have light degradation in a bottle. Light is getting in, and it's
That enhances the
a little
flavor.
bit. A can is complete darkness. Keep my beer in darkness.
Do we not want to talk about the episode this badly?
No, I do, Maud. I do.
Okay.
Listen, Maud.
Yeah.
I do. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I forgot my point.
Well, speaking of light getting in,
Yeah.
Damn.
Good.
so is May like? Is her refusal to kind of complete the test, but the master stepping in? What do we think is going on here? Has there never been a test to begin with? Was it all a charade?
Yeah, we got bad storytelling.
I'll agree with that.
That's all that.
That's-
I think
No argument
they're,
at this table.
they're being not obtuse, but they're being purposefully like
reading and withholding.
They're withholding information because I think they want to reveal it later, but it's frustrating.
It's a little
I
contradictory.
think we're caught up. I think we, the creatives, are caught up in the mystery of the show and not the story of the show. So it ends up being more about what's the mystery than what's the show about.
Right.
And so that's why I was saying earlier, I think if we get those answered, then we can have the show. We can worry about what the show's about.
Right.
But we're too busy trying to set up this mystery and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because I took it, my takeaway from this episode is that May's come to the realization that now that her sister is alive, there's more power to be tapped into there, and she'd rather do that than do whatever this
interesting.
master
You
with
think
the
she
red
wants that for
lightsaber
power?
wants to do.
I just thought it was like, my sister, I love my sister, I want her back. But I never thought of it as
That's
her.
because it didn't have the crucial scene that I was talking about.
Yeah, it needs Maude's scene.
Thank you.
It does need Maude's
Leslie.
scene.
And then, well, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but then, why does Kalnaka have those, speaking of power, why does he have the...
Let's talk about Kalnaka's symbols in his house.
Yeah.
I think,
What if it's like the equivalent of sort of like the tear tattoo? He has it to remind himself of what he did that day.
In a suffering way.
Suffering,
like he
self-torture
wants-
kind of a way.
I interpreted it as like, he was kind of like, what is this power? And he maybe is like looking into it and knows the Jedi would not be cool with that. That's why he wanted to be alone. Now, he's only been on this planet for a year, right? They said like he went there like a year ago and no one's heard from him.
Right.
They hadn't heard from him for a year.
We hadn't heard from him for a year. But
we don't know how long
been...
he's been on Kofar, maybe, or I'm misremembering. But yeah, I think he was like interested in it and like, what is this thing? What is it? I'm exploring it. He knows the Jedi don't want him looking into it, so he's doing it on his own.
I saw it more of like, suffering and because I imagine after the events, it was never the same for him or any of them. And Indara Trinity just went up, the denial route of like, let's just move on with life.
She went to a desert planet, was drinking with buddies,
just hanging out.
She's like, who's this bitch that showed up? She's like, I gotta save this kid. Oh,
exactly.
Kid.
Let me just force and kung fu everybody over here.
Yeah.
But then Tommen, had his own version. I feel like it's almost like all the different stages of like grief, maybe,
Okay.
Something definitely big happened with Torben because his eye was so messed up.
And that happened right at the castle because you saw on the ship he was effed right after.
Yeah. So like whatever he did, he was like, I really.
And so I think
he was also a
Kalnaka's
Padawan, which makes me think he did something like.
And
really
whatever
messed up.
happened with that slash, like screwed up his hairline, like big time. We know that for sure.
It won't ever be the same.
Yeah, we'll never be the same. But so Kalnaka, his version of punishment, I think, for himself is to become a recluse, to live alone.
Yeah, because why wouldn't he go back to Kashyyyk, right?
Right, exactly. He found another forest planet where he could be alone, and then he's surrounding himself with totems of the worst day of his life, maybe, and he's just waiting to die.
I think he's been exploring.
Is what I got to.
I think he's been exploring.
What if he has information about the Coven?
Okay.
And he's the only one
Not anymore.
who could share that information.
Yeah, okay.
And so the master killed that information
so
that
to
Kalnaka
silence
couldn't
him.
say it to May. And perhaps that would have been the catalyst to put her on a different path. So the master had to intervene to keep her on the path for the dark side.
Okay, I like this.
Information
I like this.
That would be a good twist.
Here's a little theory I've been cooking up in my medium-sized brain. Maybe a little bigger this time. May referred to the master as a he, but that could be like a misdirect. May doesn't know. May because I think they really want us to think it's Qimir and whatever. Coral from the last episode.
Yes. Mum number 2.
Zaruthan?
Yes.
The Zabrak type?
Zabrak.
Yeah.
Coral from episode 3, from the past, the Zabrak. Really weird character who seemed like was always really mad at Osha, like, you're messing up, you're not doing it right. I'm wondering if like Coral is this like secret master. May has no idea it's Coral. And Coral's been trying to get this thing along. And because Kalnaka all of these people would know what happened on Brendok. If it was actually Coral that kind of popped this shit off.
That would be interesting.
And she's killing off these Jedi because
she's got force powers.
She's trying to get these twins back together in some weird way. I don't know. Maybe a bit of a stretch.
I will say, after covering quite a few Star Wars shows, there was so much potential of things to be a red herring.
Different
it just didn't.
That's
Ahsoka was full of red herrings, right?
I would love for it to be throwing me on my toes that much. I do not think that that's
And based on this show and what we've seen so far, I don't think they're... how do I put this nicely? I don't think they're making it complicated enough to have some deep
I think they're
story
tricking you. I think
connection.
they're lulling you into a sense of I know what's happening.
I don't get me wrong. I hope that's right, but based on
I
what
wanna
we've
be
seen,
pleasantly surprised.
I want to be surprised. I don't think that's going to happen. And there's been so many other times in Star Wars media, just
Sure.
Star Wars stuff, where I'm like, ooh, that'd be a fun red herring. If never mind, it's the most
Yeah,
basic
we all wanted.
answer
We
already
all waited
knew.
for Darth Jar Jar, right? We
Yeah,
all thought it was
exactly.
coming.
And he never came out, and me so confused.
Well, speaking of that, like, do we think that this episode is setting Qimir up to be the master, or is that too obvious?
I think it's too obvious. I mean, he literally is like a line like, I made we made
I
a deal.
agree,
And it was just
but-
like, and I could be wrong. Star Wars storytelling in general throughout time has always been pretty on the nose.
Right.
Hit the nose.
Darth Vader being Luke's father was like a big surprise, right?
Right.
And like that did catch people by surprise, but that is maybe the most surprising thing that's ever happened in Star Wars. I don't know. It's always been pretty like
All
A
the
to
other
B.
surprises have been like, oh, Darth Maul just died immediately. Oh, okay. Like
No, we'll bring it
those have
back
been the
as
other
the
surpri-
House Spider.
Right, exactly. But we got to wait till for
Well, that
5
wasn't
years in
even the plan.
animation.
It was never
It wasn't
even
even
the
the plan. Yeah.
No,
So those have
no.
been other surprises from like, oh, it's just that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's been this. Unfortunately, since the Vader reveal, that's been what the surprises have been so far.
Yeah, so I'm willing to see this show out. That like I
Yeah,
think
same.
they're trying to misdirect us a little bit.
And I want it to be something
Yeah.
else. I'm just saying from what we've seen.
Evidentially.
We'll see.
It's great, not like
Before we get into some other points, we want to thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the show this week as well. Listen, I was a kid. I loved cereal. I ate a lot of cereal. As I grew up, I realized I probably shouldn't be eating all this like sugar and carbs. Probably not a good idea. So I cut cereal out of my diet. I said goodbye to my Fruity Pebbles. I'll miss you so much. But then I found Magic Spoon, which has like all the amazing flavors you loved as a kid. But this cereal is high protein. It has less sugar. Right now, Magic Spoon has a variety pack with 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. The pack has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. And it's only 140 calories per serving. Plus, Magic Spoon is high protein, keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, and soy free, and has 0 grams of sugar. Go to magicspoon.com/breakroom to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our code breakroom at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, start your day off right with a delicious bowl of high-protein cereal at magicspoon.com/breakroom and use code breakroom to save $5 off. And again, thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring today's episode.
Speak for yourself. I never gave up on cereal.
You never? Good for
No.
you, Mon.
Never
Fight the
gave
good
up on
fight.
that. We
Well,
still
check
going
out
strong.
Magic Spoon, though. Hey, you know what, folks? We've got some great designs up on nerdriot.shop right now, including this cool little droid thing.
Name them all. Go.
Okay, that's a probe droid.
That's an Imperial probe droid.
Yeah, Imperial Pro Droid, Chopper.
That's an R. Yeah, that's Chopper. That's another R2
What's this one?
unit.
Ooh,
that's a
that's a
mouse
mouse
droid.
droid.
Oh,
Sorry.
we need to go up further.
yeah.
Ow, my nipples!
Mouse
Mouse
droid.
droid.
That's that.
Imperial probe droid.
Medical,
Is that a security droid? Is that
that like a
security
K2?
droid?
Oh, that's a
Is that like
K2 droid, isn't it?
Droid? Another R.
That's
R2
R5
unit,
maybe? R5 unit?
C3.
No, that one I don't know. That gold one. I'm just
Call it
kidding.
protocol droid.
Yeah, the Gonk droid,
Gonk unit.
R2, battle droid,
Battle droid.
and Beebs.
BB.
Beebs.
Well done. We're nerds.
This isn't C3PO because he's got the same colored legs, right?
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
That's
Unless
right.
he's refurbished C3PO.
Did you hear he's
C3PO.
fluent in over 6 million? Now it's 7 million forms of communication.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear
Oh,
it. I bet he
probably
doesn't speak
speaks
Basil.
I was gonna say, or he does. I can't wait for 3PO to be like,
It seems like he's found us out.
smells something.
he smells something crazy.
Well, we've got some Star Wars designs up on the channel right now. We've also got Breakroom merch up on the channel. We've got Marvel, DC, all sorts of stuff. Be sure to check out nerdriot.shop. It's not just shirts, it's also mugs, hoodies, notebooks, all sorts of stuff. And buying stuff from nerdriot.shop is a great way to support the channel, all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network. So check it on out over at nerdriot.shop.
Woo!
Okay. One last thing before we head out today. May and Osha. Are they going to get along? No. It feels like in this episode to me,
Yeah,
they're starting
don't.
to...
You're being so
Ow!
annoying. Don't.
No.
So annoying.
No, listen. Listen, Osha.
Kids, stop. I'm disappointed in you.
Here's the thing. Are we going to have to see those kid actors again? Because I'm just going to leave if that's the
They're kids, Brandon.
No, I know.
Like, come on.
Just for the record, Brandon doesn't have kids.
No, I do not.
You can tell.
And I will not.
If I were with their parents in back, I'd be like, you're doing great.
I'm not going to
guys.
have a
You're
kid
doing
biologically.
great."
I'm going to audition my kids to get the best child actor.
That's a good idea.
Osha and May, this episode especially for me, it feels like they're on a trajectory to switch spots.
That would be
Where
Osha
exciting.
goes evil
That would be
and
exciting.
May goes good.
Also, not too surprising
Not
based on what
too
we're
surprised,
saying.
because we've fast-tracked May's agenda
Yep.
so fast in these episodes. So it makes
and
room
Osha's
for
in
that.
terms of like, I can't let go of attachment.
Yeah.
yeah,
know?
I fear death. I don't.
can't make
I think
it to
it's
the Jedi
unfair.
Order. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. She's just her. Also, the way like Osha's like really clinging on to Jackie makes me seem like she's trying to like convert her in like a weird way.
She would be a good assistant
good.
to the dark side.
Right.
Assistant. Yeah.
Nice.
She'd be a great
No,
assistant.
How could you? How
I
dare?
like it.
Yeah, I think that even from the get-go, they were saying the show's not what you seem. So I knew pretty much before the show started, May's not going to be the Acolyte, right? They're setting that up, and there might be another mystery or something else that'll happen. And so in that case, I think the same actress, but they'll have Osha be the real Acolyte, and that's what'll be the twist or mystery of the show.
Yeah, I mean, between those two, right? I think Soul is acting really strange and really weird, and Vanestra too.
Oh, Vanestra's
which
acting out.
Vanestra Rowe has always been in literature in the High Republic novels is seen as like a good character, no evilness there. But she does seem like really.
She's keeping this.
Yeah, she's
under
bottling
wraps.
this up.
She doesn't want to tell the Senate. Yeah,
And it seems bigger than just like politics, right? Of like, oh, I don't want the Republic getting involved or kicking us out or all that kind of stuff. It seems like something really shady is going on.
Well, because
here.
she even says at one point, doesn't she? She's like, well, yeah, this will seed mistrust throughout the galaxy. And so she doesn't want the Jedi to look bad or anything like that. So maybe she'll be the one covering everything up. And Caddy Mooney won't know about it, which is why in Phantom Menace will say something.
Yeah.
But
And
maybe,
if Soul can do a little bit of a memory check, he could also do a little bit of memory take.
Right.
And that would retcon that whole situation.
And like you said, he killed that innocent bug for no reason.
Grandma.
And so it's like again, he's like kind of evil. Like his fight with May when he like held her to the ground and was like reading her mind. I was like, that's like dark side stuff. I don't think that's as like good.
But I mean, how
as
does
it's
he
meant to
know
be.
it if it's dark side stuff? He would have been taught that in the academy. I think the academy as a whole is a little shady shadestone.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
stealing
yeah.
kids and
Yeah.
and, taking
and that's
them
why
away
they
from their
had to
families.
end. And maybe the next movies will go into a new order where they'll incorporate some stuff they said was bad before. But
Just because you have a lot of power doesn't
Yeah.
mean you have to use it bad.
Yeah, this
Right.
whole idea of like the Jedi being like we control access to the Force. It's up to us. And it's like, oh, that's really weird, Like, if this is a power that other people can tap into in different ways, like, why are you
Why are you the
allowed
police
to-
of it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Just
They
because
are
you got the
controlling.
Republic you got the government on your side.
It's a little totalitarian, if you ask me.
just because you got a big ass building on Coruscant. And,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
is
they're
that
like-
the tax dollars paying for that? Or
Yeah,
is it
space
the
tax
Jedi
dollars.
don't get taxed? Jedi don't get
No,
taxed.
because they're like
They're religion.
so
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it.
They get
That's
taxed.
it.
They get to keep on.
They got a lot of credits.
That's why they got spaceships.
And that's why they
all
got
these
hush
transports,
money.
Hush money.
Yeah.
They have prisons.
Yeah.
They have
They have
prisons,
prisons.
inside of that building where
They
they
have
were
like
keeping
hollow
those people.
screens in their offices. Dude, there's
Everyone's got a hollow screen. Where's this money coming from?
God.
Where's this money coming
a
from?
racket.
This is a
Yeah,
racket.
so maybe the master, the villain, is just like a begrudging finance guy from the office at Coruscant. He's like, the Jedi are stealing all this money.
Yeah.
They do not use it responsibly. Yeah, that's really what it is.
Do you think the Jedi know about May and Osha's kind of unique origin
Oh,
that
well-
they seem to have been
I
created?
think Soul's tapped into it a little bit, but he was also in denial from like prior episode 1. So
Deny about what?
the May being alive.
Oh yeah.
You don't think he knew the whole time? Or
No, I
like
don't
the second he saw May?
I know you think
he
he's
was
bad,
like-
but not.
No.
I think he's bad. I think he knew.
No, I think everyone else knows.
I think
and they're
that
all
weird
dying,
little
but
thing-
he's still alive.
And I think that's why I think May didn't draw a weapon on him because he's like not as guilty as everybody.
I don't
else.
know. When Vanessa was like, "Why didn't you write about May?" and he was like, "Well, I thought she was dead. She fell. She must have died." Like, if you're a cop, if you're a Jedi cop, and you have to put in your report, wouldn't you be like, "Oh yeah, there were 2 girls there. They were twins. One fell in the hole."
They always
and
knew
is dead."
that there were 2, but when everyone else
There
was dead,
I
why
thought
not
May was
another
never
dead?
in the file. That was the whole point, that there was never a sister listed in the file.
I might have missed it. I think that May was just mentioned like she died there, but there wasn't anything about her.
She was never in the file
wasn't in the
whatsoever.
file? Yeah, okay, I
That's
missed
why they went after Osha first, because they didn't know there was a twin.
But maybe that's why Soul's like, well, I told you when I
I'm
found
telling
out.
you,
I thought
Soul
I-"
is bad.
No, well, I think that the Jedi definitely didn't know anything about that or about them because that's why Vanessa's so upset. Where she's, like, why didn't you tell me about this? He's like, I told you as soon as I knew. Whereas Indara and Torben Tommen and Kalneka are keeping the secret, you know what I mean, of what actually happened that day. You know, just
I think it'd be like the collective of the four of them having done something.
right.
If you're
Or they're covering up for their Padawan Torben, who was high on death sticks and like killed everybody, and they're
Got
like
possessed
Padawans,
and
dude.
like
Padawans,
if
man.
you're still watching this hashtag in the comments, Soul doesn't know.
Soul
Soul
doesn't
knows
know.
and he's bad.
Soul
This is,
doesn't know.
this is the thin Jedi line where they're not allowing the truth to come out and they're protecting their own. They're protecting their ranks.
Hashtag Soul knows. Hashtag
One
Soul
bad
doesn't
apple
know.
in the Jedi Order has spoiled the whole bunch, my friends.
And if you-
and they're all complicit. A jab. All Jedis are bad. Okay? Mark my words.
If you're wondering if I'm going to keep watching, because I just want to know if I'm right and you're wrong or vice versa. That to me, there's some stakes happening.
Oh, there's some
Yeah.
delicious steaks,
Yeah.
and they're being served up
Rare.
rare steaks. That's what I'm talking about. As we do every week here on the after show, we gotta pick out our A-list alien.
That's the easy one this week.
We're always talking about the main characters of the show, but we love in Star Wars to see these little side characters, these little cuties. Who's everyone's favorite A-list alien?
Let's say it at the same time.
Doesn't
Ready?
have. It could be anyone.
1, 2, 3. Bugs.
Bazo! What?
Oh, sorry.
God.
Those
You like the
bugs
bugs?
were so innocent. And no,
innocent
of course
bugs
everybody loves Basil,
sleeping?
but I'm
As
going to say
an
bugs.
Australian, I am not coming near a bug apologist.
Yeah.
I hope shit.
Now, for you, Bob, those were small bugs,
Yeah,
right?
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fine. I don't know why they got scared. I was like, guys,
Yeah.
you can handle that with your hands.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
it
what you
was
see
swatted
works
away.
in your house. Yeah, exactly.
Take your shoe off. No, Baz, for sure.
Basil was
Baz
like a
with the
big
butthole mouth. Yeah, he was great.
What's in your butthole? There's teeth in there, man.
That's why he's screaming all the time. He's like, my breath stinks. This is actually my ass. Yeah, this is my ass. Everybody's
Also-
looking at my ass.
The introduction of new species, when there are so many species, we're likely never going to see a tracker again. And of course, when you look at every Star Wars property before, after that, it's like, when would a tracker have been, utilized well that wasn't there? Like, I don't know.
Because the Jedi went and killed them all.
Calling it
probably.
now. Tracker shows up in the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Don't worry.
Saying it right now.
yeah.
Saying it right now.
I heard that George,
And they're going to get a tracker for their tracker.
George is back at the machines and he's adding trackers into A New Hope and
Yeah, why
Empire
would
Strikes Back.
Why would I just realized, why would you need a puck to detect your prey if you're a bounty hunter when you can get a tracker that can
I mean,
smell across a planet?
Tom,
Anyway.
don't get me started. Don't get me started on bounty hunter pucks. That is the most ridiculous thing that Star Wars has ever invented. I'm sorry.
What is...
People get mad about things in this show. That bounty hunter puck nonsense is BS.
It actually makes sense because this was 100 years before and the technology kept getting better and
So,
better.
okay,
they took
okay.
over the
Right,
job
so,
of the
you're
Admiral.
telling- you
Basil
are
lost
telling
his job
me-
to a puck. That
you're
makes
telling
sense.
me
That makes sense.
They have a way of
Motherfuckers.
tracking. They've always had a way of tracking Grogu. Like that's something that's just always
So,
existed.
I don't know if you
or is
heard
the
of-
puck tracking the baby carriage?
So I don't know if you heard of midichlorians, but that's an actual thing that exists in people. Do you even watch Star Wars, Brandon?
I don't even have a dad.
I carried them and I created them. There was
My mom's.
My two moms.
there was kind of an interesting quote from Leslie Headland this week, I believe. I forget which interview it was in, but she kind of insinuated we're going to learn more about Mother Anastasia, and that maybe she's not being fully truthful when she's like, "I created them." That might also not be. That might
Interesting.
prove to not be. What's going on here?
Okay.
There might be more to the
Maybe
origin.
she like placed the order and then someone else. Like,
or maybe she went and stole
Yeah.
some twins from someone's house. I don't know.
Maybe.
And told them like, yeah, I created them. And Coral's like, I carried them, and she just meant I carried them in a backpack.
That's true, which
Away
is-
from the
Yeah,
scene.
yeah,
It's true from another point of view.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Well, that's it for us today. What a show, folks!
What a
Make sure to subscribe to their Breakroom channel right here on YouTube, and give us a follow on Twitch, where we do these videos like this live sometimes. Maude, where can the people find you on the internet?
Maude Garrett. Wait.
Look at you, using the Force, pulling at the threads,
Pull out the thread.
Because I'm a witch.
Tom, where can they find you on?
Use the tracker, and it'll bring you over to Tom on the mic on all the socials. There it is.
Oh,
Oh.
no, go back because
Right.
my force is stronger. I bring it back to Maude.
Oh, talk about the power of two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
yeah.
it coming?
Dash, put it back up.
Yes! Yes, I won again.
I won't forget that.
That's right.
As all.
I will always remember
He
that.
chose a
Thank
side.
you.
Everyone,
Thank you.
He
Chose a side.
The right side.
And that comes
the
with
light side.
The
consequences.
power of many, folks. We'll catch you next time. SKS. Goodbye.
Literally confessed to being evil in this episode.
Qimir is not the evil one.